Hello to all of you beautiful, amazing souls. If you're new around here, then hi, my name is Jessie. If not, then welcome back to my channel. Before I begin, it is important to remind everyone that I'm not a medical professional, so all the things I do say in my videos are purely from my own research, my own experience, and the experience you love your soul share with me. Now that we've established that, what I was planning on doing for this week's video is to list a list of advice and tips I had for those who were trying to gain control of their daydreams and how much time they were spending in the other world, and or at least things that had worked for me. And there was one piece of advice that I was going to give that seemed so vital to me at least understanding it, that I thought it needed its own video. And you've probably already read the title of the video, but it's to look within yourself. I'll explain what For a lot of us, maladaptive daydreaming is used as a way to either escape our reality, gain something that we can't get from reality, or both. Now, remembering I'm not a medical professional and there's very limited research I have access to because it's not a thing, right? But basically, and I haven't heard of a, well, I have said this before, but I don't think there are any reported cases of daydreaming, excessive daydreaming, becoming to the point of maladaptive daydreaming beyond childhood. It starts in childhood. That's from my knowledge and from the research I have access to. But it's, yeah, and for a lot of us, we used maladaptive daydreaming to replace something that we didn't have or we didn't have access to, like maybe a functional family or just things like that, or to just simply escape our reality. That's why you need to look within to figure out how and why, I suppose. I'll give you an example. And this is an example. For me, I lived in more than one house growing up, and this can work for children when, you know, co-parenting and stuff like that. It can, but it just wasn't working as well because there were a lot of other things happening as well. I'm not going to go into detail, but it was just a bit of a mess, and most of the adults in my life were doing the best they could to, you know, deal with the situation, but there's only so much a human can do, correct? To kind of shelter children from the realities of life. But children need specific things and they are very vulnerable. I didn't have access to a functional family and I needed that. So I created it myself. I looked within myself to find it. And so I created a para family and things like that. So I can recognize that the reason I created that and that I needed that was because I needed it, right? You can do the same with yourself. Have a look at the content of your daydreams and, you know, the role your paras play in your life, and that's how you're going to work out why. And then you can, through that, you can work out how you're going to fix this reality, to kind of gain what your daydreams are giving you, if that makes sense. And let me tell you, it ain't gonna be easy because it's not your fault, really. It's something that kept you safe and happy. But it's going to be hard because you've spent, you know, your whole life, well, not your whole life, but for the majority of what you can remember, probably, depending on this, right? And of course, it's different for everyone, and this is just generalizing. I can't speak English. This is obviously, I'm talking about the community of maladaptive daydreamers as a like general. Not everything I say is going to apply to you, obviously, because we are individual people and stuff like that. But it'll be hard because, you know, you've depended on this for so long, and you use this as a way to find what you need within yourself instead of having to look outside, if that makes sense. So if you're going to really, really control it and understand it and get rid of it and not need it as much, remembering you don't have to have the goal of getting rid of it, you just need to have the goal of controlling it. You need to, instead of escaping to another universe where you are in control, you need to try and gain control of this reality. Again, I just want to make it very clear once more that I'm not a medical professional, but I read this somewhere, I can't remember where, but I read this somewhere, and it kind of changed me, and it was kind of like a light bulb moment and realization of, if I was going to get rid of this, I was going to have to look within myself, and I was going to have to find out, you know, what was happening with me and what I was trying to gain from all of the daydreaming and the paras and the paracosms, and then work that into this reality. And it helped so much, and it was so vital for me even to gain the slightest bit of control. I am not in a position with my like daydreams and the amount of time I'm spending in a different world. I'm nowhere near happy with that yet, but this advice and this tip is vital for me getting there, because it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, right? I've depended on this for pretty much my whole life that I can remember, and there are so many, and for that whole period of time when I needed something, I looked within to find it. And now it's kind of having to retrain myself to, if I need something, when something's not working in this reality, to fix it in this reality and not create a situation in my paracosm where I have what I'm missing. So I've already said it's going to be hard, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to take practice, and it's going to take a while. And because I know that going to see medical professionals about this is kind of scary, and maladaptive daydreaming isn't a thing, and people are scared about that, and it's just, I know people feel like they're alone, but I believe in you if that helps in any way. And I wish everyone the best of luck, and I hope this helps someone, because it helped me a ridiculous amount. I don't think I would be where I am right now without this and without this knowledge. I hope you're having an amazing weekend, day, week, whenever you're watching this, and I hope you are well, and I hope you're able to, wow, sorry, I hope you're able to take this advice and use it, and I hope it helps. Anyway, if you have any advice and tips that have worked for you, please leave a comment so that I can incorporate them into a video where I actually give some, you know, advice and some tips. But like always, stay unique.